A man stumbles through a narrow Venetian alley, his robe half torn, breath uneven. Behind him, the sound of heels. Not one, but many. A flash of red silk, a gold earring. Then, bam! A shoe to the ribs, a slap to the cheek. 3 women surround him, screaming in a blur of dialect and perfume. This wasn't random rage. This was revenge. He was their man, until he wasn't. Before the crowd can blink, he's gone, dragged away by masked guards. No one says a word. They all saw. No one speaks. Because in this city, even love had consequences. Across the canal, 2 courtesans argue in the moonlight. A nobleman leans smugly between them, letting them fight over his coin. And something else. One spits, the other claws. Then suddenly, boom, they stop. Because the man, he vanishes into a black gondola without a sound. The women pause, smile. They were never fighting for him. They were distracting us. Cut again. 2 nuns, faces veiled, giggle behind the marble columns of a church. A prince walks past with his guards. The taller nun lifts her head just slightly. Eyes me. The prince freezes. 1 kiss later, and the guards are useless. This wasn't a convent. This was a kingdom of soft daggers and secret queens. Welcome to Venice. Not just the city of canals, the city of women. And every one of them had a weapon. In the Renaissance, Venice looked like heaven floating on water. Grand palaces, golden altars, candle-lit banquets. But under that beauty was a labyrinth of politics, fear, and obsession with control. And if men ran the government, women ran the undercurrent. Some were born into gilded cages, noble girls with family names like armor. But behind those mansion doors, power didn't always rest with fathers or husbands. Mothers arranged alliances, sisters negotiated dowries. A well-placed smile at the right masquerade ball could do what an army couldn't. Others came from nothing and used everything they had. At its peak, Venice had over 11,000 prostitutes, more women working in sex than in any other single profession. But this wasn't back-alley chaos. Venice legalized, taxed, and regulated it. They even published guides to the best courtesans, like they were artists or musicians. The state had a plan. Give men an outlet to keep noblewomen pure and marriages untainted. But the women at the center of it, some played the role and rewrote the rules. There were 2 kinds of sex workers in Venice, the common and the elite. The elite ones, the courtigian honest, weren't just beautiful, they were brilliant. Trained in poetry, music, philosophy, these women were the influencers. Of their time, the thinkers men actually listened to. They had their own libraries, wore high fashion, hosted salons. If you wanted to be taken seriously in intellectual Venice, it wasn't enough to charm the Doge. You had to be seen with a courtesan who knew Aristotle. One of the most legendary was Veronica Franco, a courtesan, a published poet, a woman who went toe-to-toe with the Inquisition and lived to tell the tale. She was accused of witchcraft, seduction, corruption. Her defense, her intelligence, her writing, her mind. And Venice, twisted as it was, admired boldness. But not every woman had options. Noble families often had too many daughters and not enough gold. Dowries could bankrupt even the rich. So if a girl couldn't be married off, she was sent to a convent. You'd think that was a death sentence. But Renaissance convents were complicated. Yes, some were strict, filled with prayer and obedience, but others, they became secret societies. Women wrote music, painted, plotted, smuggled letters. Some fell in love with priests, with outsiders, with each other. One nun famously wrote, "They say God listens, but he would faint if he knew what I confessed." Some convents became more powerful than churches. Families donated gold and land to secure their daughters' reputations. The abbess often had more political weight than male priests.